Good evening! Welcome back to Frugal Outdoors with myself, Dylan. And we're out fishing again tonight. And as you can see, right behind me, right there, that's the Needles. The Needles on the furthest point to the west on the Isle of Wight. So, that means we're fishing Alum Bay. And I haven't fished here for a long time, probably over a year. What with a few landslides and stuff, and they closed access to it every now and again. The stairs went, so they've been replaced, as you'll see in the footage in a minute. But yeah, we're fishing here. I don't really know what to expect. Reports aren't that brilliant, but I thought, you know what, two tides are never the same. So, well, quite often they are. They can be terrible both times, but there we go. I'm sure we've all experienced that before. But I'm gonna give it a go. I've got some squid, I've got some bream rigs, potential of a bream from here. I've got some crab, there might be a smooth hound, and I've got one single mackerel, because there might be a conger or something else lurking around. So let's get set up, and yeah, we'll bring you back, show my rigs, do the usual stuff, and get a bait in the water, shall we? Cheers. Oh, right, I'm going to try and get these rods together as quick as I can. But you see what I mean, there's a lot of slides down here. So one thing I would say, if you are thinking of coming down here fishing, then obviously please be careful. Don't set up. I've picked a particular spot which is in between slides, and I've looked above me and it grades off. So it's not really steep vertical stuff behind me, so I feel pretty confident, obviously because I'm fishing here, that I'm safe. So yeah, please be aware of that. Like I say, it can be a bit sketchy down here. Fishing with my Daiwas again, my Daiwa Air Surf, my Daiwa Tournament Pro Surf. And I've got both my Shimano power arrows. I've got both my Shimano power arrows. And I'm fishing with my mono again tonight. And they're reasonably in the same place. Yeah, so I've got 20-pound mono, which is the new Asso Knight with a K, like King Arthur and his K Knights. Which so far, I do like it. I do struggle to tie a decent knot with it, in all fairness, but so far, so good. It's just not the neatest knot I could probably tie to my leader, which is 60-pound Sakuma straight through, not tapered. Don't like tapered leader, to be honest. Well, mainly because it's expensive and I'm tight. I think it's just gone 6:30. The tide's already been dropping for an hour or so, so it's not ideal conditions, but you know what, this is when I can come fishing. Like I've said before, I can't decide on the tides. If I can only get out because of work commitments and other things, when the tide's dropping down to low, then so be it. But I reckon we got a chance of getting something. So as I said, I've got some crab. I've got two pretty good size spider crabs there. And I've got one single mackerel. And I've got a nice new pack of Kraken sea baits. C6 whole squid. So it's all from Slamfish. Isle of Wight, based down in Odessas boatyard. But yeah, I haven't got a whole bunch of bait with me tonight, and I can say I'm probably only going to be fishing for maybe 5 hours ish, give or take. It depends on how it goes. I am quite stubborn, so sometimes I will stay. I'll outstay my welcome, put it that way, in the hope of trying to get a fish. Because I do like to get a fish. Doesn't matter what it is, really. So, first rig tonight is a 2 up, 2 pop up, 1 down, which I made these the other day because I had some new components turn up. I'm not a massive fan of using loads of components on my multi-hook rigs, purely because when you lose them, you know, it's a few quid on there. And secondly, it takes ages to tie. I find it so much easier to tie a 2 or a 3 hook flapper just with knots. But it does mean that the line's a bit thicker. I don't know, I never really have too many problems with it. I still catch bream, and basically this is a bream rig. So we've got three pop-ups on there, on my top 2, and that's maybe on about 50 centimetre hook snood. Now I've tested these, I put this in water, so I know this is going to hold up a piece of squid. I've got exactly the same 2 snoods, 1 up, 1 down, and this is actually on a Wessex, 2 up, and the 1 down is on a running ledger, and that's just a bare hook, no pop-ups. So let's get a squid, get this in the water, get fishing. I'd like to get a bream. I always would like to get a bream. I know most of you probably know that already by now, but that I absolutely love bream fishing because I do like, wherever possible, to take my catch home. I don't take rays and stuff like that, but I know you can, but taking a ray doesn't really float my boat. A bit hypocritical, I know, but there we are. I do like to take some bream. I like to take bass, pouting, been known to take dogfish, anything else really. So there we go. So all I'm doing is I've cut that body and I'm cutting that into, give or take, 10mm strip. And I'm just gonna thread that. These are size 1s, incidentally, not size 2s, not size 4s. These are size 1s, but they're 15-pound snoods. I don't really normally go that low. I have got some other ones on here which are my trusted just knotted, and there we go. That's how it's going to go out. So let's get the other ones baited, get it in the water. It feels like it's been absolutely ages since I've done a video. It's been over a week since I've been fishing. Week and a half. So yeah, I've missed it, to be honest. So basically I'm going to fish this rig or one very similar to it all night. If I start losing hooks, then I'll change my hook snoods. At least with this, with 2 pop-ups, 2 of them at least should be fine. Yeah, so I'm going to fish this on my lighter of the 2 rods, which is the Air Surf. Got really lovely bite detection, and it is my favourite out of my 2 rods, in all honesty. If I could have another one, I probably would. But would I get rid of the Tournament Pro Surf? Probably not. It would just be another rod. And to be honest, I've got three decent usable rods, and that, to be honest, is all I need. Right, let's get this out. You can see a bird working there. I have got some feathers just in case the mackerel turn up. But let's get this out. See if we can't catch a bream. There we go. I'd say I may well just put some little bits of mackerel on that later. But for the meantime, we'll just fish it with the squid, because I do like using squid. There we go. Right, let's get this other one baited. There we are, one's in the water, chuffed. Right, so on the other side, I'm fishing with a 3.0 pulley pennel, 60-pound, really simple, basic rig that I'm sure you all know and have and use. But yeah, I'm just sort of scratching around tonight, really. So my plan is to fish a big bait on one side and smaller baits on the other side, in the hope that we can't just scratch something out, really. I'm not massively fussed. So I'm going to fish this with a 6-ounce gripper as well. Keep an eye on that, 'cause it's not long gone out. You never know. And like I say, I've got these monstrosities of crabs, but they are not defrosted. So I'm gonna, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and get some water quickly and chuck them in there to defrost. There we go. Best way to defrost bait really, really quick is to get some seawater and chuck them in there. The one actually, I'll just leave out and let that one defrost slowly. So I'm gonna have to use a bit of mackerel. Chop the tail off straight away. So all I'm gonna do is, I'm not even gonna take the whole fillet off just yet. It's very sharp. I am a fan of very sharp knives. I do like my knives. I like knives and I like torches. And as it happens, I've got a new head torch to try out tonight. Right, so what I've done is I've cut it. I've cut half a fillet off. I've cut it down the center, folded it back on itself, so that basically I can bind it together, skin on skin. All the flesh is on the outside. It's definitely a chance of a conger down here tonight. Among other things, I very rarely fish to the right. So today I'm fishing to the right-hand side of the chairlift. Normally I fish to the left. I have fished the right once before, I believe. With marginal success, had a few fish. It's always that thing, you chuck a bait out and you kind of expect it. Look at that, there's actually red blood coming out of that mackerel. You kind of expect to get one straight away, even though you know it's not going to happen. But it doesn't stop us from hoping that it might. So I've just bound that up on my tool. I'm sticking the 3/0, it's a wide mouth hook, so I can pin that so it's sticking really proud. I've got quite a big tag end on my, when I'm using my pulley pennels, I leave quite a decent tag because the tag also helps to keep the bait in place when you bind it on. I brought a mackerel because I thought it's a good chance of a conger, and it gives me a mackerel head that I can flick out just on the edges, just in the trough, to potentially pick up a bass later on when it gets into dark. But there we go. Look at that for a lovely looking bait. So that is going out on my heavier rod. The smaller one's off to the left, and this one we're going to chuck out to the right. Like, so I don't know what the ground is like here. Looking on Google Earth, it does look like there's a few rocks and weed and stuff out there. So there's a few features, which is what I'm looking for really. But let's get this out. Hopefully get us a fish. That was a really good cast for me. That was in the air for ages. There we go. Hopefully, by the time I get to bait up for a second time, the crab will have defrosted and I can use a crab and then alternate crab and the mackerel. And let's see what happens, shall we? I'm really excited to be out. 2 rods are in the water. Come on, let's get a bite. I am going to get a couple of spare rigs ready, just in case we kicks off, and I'm just ready to go. I do like to have spare rigs ready. I like to try and maximise my fishing time. Got a charter going out now. He's in real close as well, so it'll be interesting to see where he's going to stop. Might be after bream, might be after mackerel, who knows? But he's coming in pretty close, so. Right, let's get those rigs sorted. It's actually started to rain. So hopefully it won't stick around too long. So I've got as much of the shell off of this crab as I can be bothered to, really. So I'm going to cut this. It's a really good sized crab. So I can get 4 really good baits out of this one crab. Not a problem. I think because we get quite a bit of the spider crab peelers around the Solent. A lot of people, including myself, because they're readily available, do have a tendency to use like quite a big bait, you know, sort of half, sometimes a whole crab, which is funny really, because if you had shore peelers that are, you know, even this is cut into 4, shore peeler wouldn't be as big as this, and you'd still only use 1. So I'm trying to eke the baits out. Obviously, what I've got in the freezer now, and there's, you know, Slamfish has still got a few. I'm sure there's another few people that have got them, but what it means is that I've got some ready for next year. So when the hounds come in, I'm ready to go with some crab, which is ideal. There we go. I mean, that's a quarter of a crab, and it's a lovely bait. So let's get that on the pulley. Nothing has moved as yet. I thought I was getting a few little knocks on the one on the left, which has got the flapper on. But if it is, it's probably a crab, which is not the target species. Although if I get a big one, I will take it home. There we go. Look at that for a beautiful bait. Quarter of a crab, couple of the legs, all wrapped up on a pulley, ready to rock and roll. Along with a little bit of little blood, because my hooks are really sharp. Oh, my feet have just taken an absolute soaking. Just went down to wash my hands. Thought I was safe, and both of my feet all the way up to my ankles in a wave. Fantastic. Well, I'm gonna have a little sneaky peek at this 2-hook flapper just to see. So I want to see how it's fishing, see if I've got any hooks left on it. It's a new rig for me to try. I've seen loads of people using pop-ups, and some really massive pop-ups which you'd think would put fish off, but they don't seem to at all. If anything, they seem to help. And I've been looking online just for info about it really, and yeah, it does appear that the old pop-ups seem to help. So let's have a look. No bait whatsoever. Now, like I said, I did check this, so I'm surprised if it would be crabs on these top 2 snoods, because it does hold the bait completely vertical. So, oh man, I can't believe I got my feet soaking. Let's check this one out. Hasn't been out there very long, but I'd like to have a look at it anyway. It might be a case, like say, things might not switch on until the bottom of the tide, which is going to be in another couple of hours, but I don't know. I'd like to think there's still an opportunity of a fish. Oh, that's not too bad. A little bit of munching going on there, but still plenty of bait on that, so that's good. There we go. I'm actually pretty happy with this one. Look at that. That is lovely. Couple of legs hanging off it, loads of juice. Lovely crab bait. It's got to be a bass or something, doesn't it? Bass or a hound? Anything really, I don't really mind. A fish would be nice. Let's get a big drop on that. Let's give it a good old belt. See if we can't get it out there. Yeah, nice. It's lovely down here today. Very, very little breeze. I have got some dongle rigs as well in my box, but I just wanted to keep it not simple. Dongle rig is still simple, but just a bit easier today, really. Because there might be a conger out there, so at least then it doesn't mean I have to change over my rig. I can just fish with a pennel set up the whole night. I can either put crab on it or mackerel. So like I was saying earlier, I haven't fished here for an awful long time. Like, there's a hawk up there hovering, so cool. It's such a beautiful place to come fishing. You got the backdrop of the Needles. You kind of feel like it's pretty wild. And it's just a really nice venue to come and sit and waste a few hours, hopefully trying to catch a fish. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. Like I say, I haven't fished here for such a long time, but I might throw something up. I really hope it does. Be lovely to take a couple of bream home or a bass. But like I say, hopefully we can just catch anything at all, but I always have a secret target in mind. Anyone that comes fishing with no target is fibbing. Oh, you asshole! Not again. Right, that is the last time I try and wash my hands in the sea. Because that's the second time my trainers have got wet. Oh, unbelievable. I can't believe I made the same mistake twice. Well, it's nice not using braid. It's so much quieter. What we got here? Picked up a bit of weed. Yeah. Hooks are bare again. Well, that rig was out there maybe 15 minutes. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be like that all night. Right, I'm going to reduce the size of my squid in a minute. I'm going to chuck this one out because it's already done. But I'm going to reduce the size of my squid because by the looks of it, I just picked up that other rig plonker. They can't be getting off the bottom because it's getting nailed by the crabs. Right, let's get this one out again and then I'm going to reduce them. We have got really small tides at the moment, so it could be a reason for not a lot of movement out there, but I'd like to think there's still a fish or two out there. Just checking this, these tiny little pieces of mackerel. I'd like to think that they're still on there because they were really small. One's gone, one's still on there. And the bottom hook is clean, that had squid on it, so. Right, let's just keep baiting and chucking it out, and hopefully, at some point, we'll get a fish, eh? Absolutely stunning down here. What a beautiful sunset. Well, that's worth the trip, isn't it? Be nice to get a fish as well. I mean, look, it's suddenly lit everything up. Basically, we've got a big load of cloud, but then the sun's just dropped below it. And it is beautiful. I put my tip lights on earlier already because it was getting quite dark, but now the sun's popped through again. It's lovely. Come on, fish. Reckon that sun's going to set in probably 15 minutes. And then I'm going to probably fish a bit harder. No, I'm still getting, I keep thinking I've got a bite, but it's that weed. I think I'm going to persist with this 3-hook flapper. I say 3-hook flapper, it's a 3-hook Wessex rig, 2 up, 1 down. But I am going to fish with it all night because you never know. Those bream do feed at night time as well. And like I say, majority of the ones I've had this year, if not the majority, then at least 50% have been at night time anyway. So we'll keep going. Hopefully we can land one. Or just even get a bite at the moment would be nice. So I'm just going to chuck this crab bait out and then I'm going to change it up. I'm going to fish with a double squid, I think. Just to mix it up a little bit. Chuck a squid bait out there. But let's get this one out. Get it on the edge of that, I think. Really happy with the placement of that bait. There's a bit of a tide line out there, where obviously because all the water's going right to left here, we're not going to get any back eddies or anything like that here. But the water's running right to left and I can see a dirty line of water, but then this side of it's really quite clear. So I put that bait, it's probably about 1 metre this side of that dirty water. So I'm thinking if that's where the current's going, the fish are probably in that current if there is going to be a fish. And my bait is right on the edge of it. So with any luck, I've just put that one in the most perfect position. It's lightening up again with the camera. Camera does its own thing. But yeah, that sun has now dropped, so it is going to start to get darker and hopefully some of the fish will come out to play. There we go. So that's the double squid. Really nice big squid bait. Try and get some scent out there. I mean, if there's not a lot of fish activity, then the best thing I can think of is maybe use some bigger baits, try and get that scent out in the water and just try and target the areas where I think they might be, which is on the edge of that dirty water line at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. Right, so let's have a look at this then, shall we? My new head torch. Managed to get my hands on one of the Army Tech Wizard C2 Pro Max. I've seen these online. I've seen some reviews on them and they look awesome, to be honest. I've had a quick look, I've had a quick play, I've charged it. The charger's very cool. It's just got a magnetic charger. You just literally just click onto the bottom. But like I say, if you're like me, I like knives and I like torches. I've got a few like bushcrafty knives. And then with that, of course, goes torches. And I have got quite a few. Now this is quite weighty, but that means obviously it's pretty robust. It literally just comes as a torch that comes out of the side. Whoop, there we go, there you are. That's on the setting I left it on last. And then it's got like a head mount and stuff. But it does come with a little clip, little pen clip, and some spare rubber washer rings there, obviously to keep the water out. It is super waterproof. Oh yeah, cool, that just literally just clips in there. It's got a little rubber band that goes around, and then we've got a head mount. Oh, that's pretty comfortable. But yeah, wicked. So I'll be able to give it a little bit of a go tonight and fill you in on how it is. Like I say, I do normally buy really cheap head torches. I don't mind saying that. And especially because I have all of the camera gear, it is all quite heavy, so I do try to make everything as light as I can. I've got so many batteries and chargers, lamps and all sorts of stuff, but this one could still really come in handy. So yeah, so it's also, just reading this now, it's also got a magnet on the bottom, so if you're working on your car, you can stick it under there. 4,000 max lumens, which is a massive amount of lumens. 114 meters throw. I believe it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different settings that you can have it on. Yeah, here we go. So the high beam will still, that turbo will still last 3 hours. But I would probably have it on main 1 or main 2. Main 1 is 64 hours, main 2 is 21 hours. So you get plenty of life out of it for a few sessions before you have to recharge it. But then, like I say, this Firefly 1, 0.6 lumens, which is very, very little, but lasts 62 days. But yeah, cool. Check out the links and yeah, have a look for yourself and see what you think. Right, let's chuck that double squid out. Had no luck on the crab whatsoever tonight. Doesn't mean that we might not get any luck on it later, but certainly for now, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. There we are, time's come now. I've had to actually put my light on. I've got a nice mackerel bait ready on the pulley. So I said before, I'm using 3/0s, but I've got a 3/0 circle on that as well. You never know, there might be a ray out there today. A conger, let's say bass, anything really, anything that will take it. Really struggling for a bite at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. Gonna keep persisting. We're down here now, we've made the effort, we've done all the steps on the way down. It's definitely not an easy, it's an easy venue, I suppose, to fish, but it's not an easy access venue. It's quite a long walk down the lane, and then obviously you've got all those steps at the top. But when you are down here, I mean, look at it, it's beautiful, so. Unbelievable. I don't know how the crabs are getting to the pop-ups, but they are. Right, come on then. I'm thinking about having a little change up in a minute, but I don't know to what. Might chuck a bass bait out, I think. Oh, hello. Hello. That's definitely a bite. Oh no, I'm in a snag. Oh no, we got it out. Oh, hello. It's actually got quite a bit of weight. But I don't think whatever it was that was giving me that rattle is what is heavy, because it's not fighting. I actually thought it was a bream. What we got here? What we got? Oh, conger eel. And something else, we got a double shot. Pouting. Conger eel and a pouting. Tiny conger eel. Ah, finally. Got a fish, so we got a double shot. Little pouting, not very big at all, but big enough anyway, so we'll stick this one down by our box, because if we don't use it for bait, I'll take it home for a fish cake. And the smallest conger eel, and both of those took the baits with a pop-up. Tiny little conger. But anyway, let's get it back and let's see if we can't get something else. Nice little double shot. Oh, that's better. That's better. To be honest, when it first came up, I thought it might have actually been a mackerel, which would have been nice. Both on mackerel baits, both on the pop-ups. Interesting. Right. Let's get this out. See if we can't get another one. Hey, there we go. Caught a fish. Nice. Oh, that's made me feel a whole bunch better. Right, mackerel on the pop-ups then. There we are. So I've baited that Wessex rig up again with the pop-ups, and I've just baited up a squid and mackerel wrap there. But being as I only brought one mackerel and one bag of squid and 2 crab, I am getting a little bit shy on bait. I have got enough bait, I'm sure, and certainly now I've got that pouting, it may well end up going out as bait. I'd normally like to keep it, to be honest, and take it home to eat, because it'd be nice to have something to show for the cost of bait. I think the thing is, like, the crabs are getting on it so quick. The fish aren't really getting much of a chance. So this mackerel bait, which is this one, I can see it bobbing, and I've got a feeling it's because the crabs are on it. Wow, well, oh dear, oh dear. Not doing very well on my bite detection today, because that's what I just reeled in. A very, very, very tightly twisted with nothing left on it, which was a nice big mackerel bait. But I'm going to say, whatever it was obviously quite small, probably a really small conger. So let's switch this rig out and get something else on. I've got a mackerel head. I think I'm going to throw a mackerel head out. See if we can't find a bass lurking around somewhere. Right, here we go. Sorry, I'm just checking out my rig. So basically what I've got here is I've just cut that snood off the that pulley, because obviously it was completely trashed. Because I haven't actually got any bass rigs. I could use a pulley pennel, and essentially it's kind of what I'm doing, but I did have in the bottom of my box just a hook snood with a clip on it that's got a 6/0 circle and a bit of braid. So I've put that 6/0 straight through the lip, I've bound the braid down the side, and I've clipped the rig, which is fluorocarbon, onto that pulley pennel. I've switched out a 6-ounce gripper for a 4-ounce plain lead that I've flattened out with a hammer, and I'm just going to flick it out. I'm not going to clip it or anything, but it does mean what it gives me is kind of a bit of movement and a bit of play, that if a fish decides to take it, it can take a little bit of line. I haven't got any up and overs or anything, so I've got no running ledgers as such. I could just put it on the main line, but I'm not going to do that. Look at that though, guts all hanging out everywhere. So that's going to go out in a minute. Yeah, we're getting a bite here, I think. Yeah, there we go. Something very small again. Oh, we got it. Probably a little conger. It's a little bit of weight there though, which is nice. It's definitely no monster. Yeah. Little snot. Tiny again. Tiny bit bigger, but certainly nothing. Looks like it could be the night of the small little conger eels and pouting, but do you know what? I really don't mind. Let's chuck this mackerel head out then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my rods around so I can cast basically the mackerel head down that way, away from the light. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll pop that one in there. And we'll go and flick this one down here. So yeah, so basically what I've done is I've just flicked it away from, obviously, because I'm lit up, but I'm casting the light that way, so I'm not going to be casting a shadow anywhere near that bait. I've got it up a little bit higher because it's in really close, so I don't want it to move around too much in the swell in case it gets tangled. Not that there is a lot of swell, but there is a tiny bit, so drags right off, so if something picks it up, boom, it can run away. Right, so I've just chucked out the 3-hook rig again, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of them away. So I'm going to leave that mackerel head out there for a little while, and I'm just going to fish with one of the 3-hook rigs and one of the pulleys, and then this other rig, which isn't a clipped rig, and I can maybe mix and match, or maybe I'll get another pulley panel out, but I'm definitely going to do away with one of the flappers. And then just every now and again I'll put one of the flapper out, but majority of the time I'm going to fish with some bigger baits, I think, because they're getting nailed by the crabs. I thought the crabs might have eased up, but they just haven't, so I'm going to change it up. Bigger baits, more scent, yeah, and see if we can't get something a little bit bigger. Well, it is absolutely crystal clear now. Plenty of stars in the sky, but still not a lot of fish activity, it must be said. I've got a nice new mackerel bait going to go out. I don't know what else I can try. Small hooks, big baits, straight mackerel, mackerel and squid, straight crab, crab and squid, straight squid, mackerel head in close. I mean, we've had a few fish, but you know what I mean. I might check this mackerel head in a minute. I mean, it's been out there for, must be nearly an hour. Maybe not, maybe 40 minutes, I don't know, it feels like an hour, it feels like it's been out there for ages. But, maybe I'll leave it a little bit longer. I know there's loads of crabs out there, you see, so. Yeah, let's change it up, let's have a look. Let's bring this in, chuck another big bait out, bait up a peeler crab, a whole crab, and we'll have a look. We'll chuck that out instead. And that is why we bring it in, because there is barely anything left of it. There is so many crabs out there tonight. Nightmare. Oh well. Let's bait up a nice crab bait and we'll stick that on here instead. So last bait. It's actually the last bit of bait I've got. mean, I could easily eke it out into a few more, but it's that time. The bites just aren't there, so. But it's never over until that last rod comes out of the water, because there's so many times I've been fishing and that last cast has produced a really nice fish. But I got a whole squid here and half a spider peeler bound together. It is absolute giant of a bait. Look at that. Lovely, lovely looking bait, mind you. But yeah, so that is going to be my last bait to go out. I've just got 2 fresh baits out there now. I've got that crab bait that I've put out, and it's a crab and squid. Whoa, crab and squid wrap, and a crab and squid wrap on the other one, and then we just got this one. So basically, it's crabs out there now, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not happening. Don't know if we're getting a bite on that crab that I've literally just chucked out, or if that is just a swell. It's in very, very close, and because it's down the beach, could just be picking up the swell. It's not long been out, literally like a minute. It's going to move it, I think. Now, I've just recast that. I wasn't very happy with it. I think it is in a bit too close. Right, here we go. Here we go. Last cast. Last chuck. Last chance. Look at that for a bait. Absolute giant. Right. Got 2 nice big baits out there. Leave them soak, have a little tidy up. See if we can't find a bloomin' fish. There we are, the last ones are out. Have a quick tidy up. Give them a little soak. Let's see if we can't winkle a lucky last fish on giant baits. Ah, well, the rods are packed away, and as usual, it's just the camera gear to go. What a hard session it's been tonight. Probably one of my hardest sessions for a long time, actually. We winkled out a few fish, so it wasn't all bad, and it was lovely sitting down here. I haven't fished here for pretty much about a year, so it was nice to come back down here and have a go. But we threw everything at it. We tried all sorts, but yeah, unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. So obviously, I'll try and get out again next week. I am sorry there's not a whole bunch of content in this video, but I'll put it up anyway because it is real, and it does show other people that are learning, like I was only a few years ago, that it doesn't always go to plan. I even brought scales today. I was that convinced I was going to get something decent that I'd need to weigh it. So I brought the scales, but needless to say, I didn't use them. Also, don't forget, you can get some of my rigs from Slamfish, Isle of Wight, from Nobby. And if you want any tip lights, I've still got loads of them, so check out my eBay listings. Yeah, not a lot else to say about it really. So I guess until the next one, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers. Then I've made a squid and crab and squid. Bleh. Then I've made a crab and squid wrap, and that will go out as well.